As you move on to AFX Night Chase, watch out. Whoa! And the chase goes on. For one of the closest things to real racing, AFX Firebird Fever and AFX Night Chase. 2 AFX action sets, each sold separately from Aurora.
George Hamilton in Love at First Bite tonight at 9.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bill O'Reilly. 7:30 magazine will not be on tonight. We have the week off, and the Warner Wolf Show will be taking our place, so stick around. But next Wednesday at 7:30, you'll meet this family, an ordinary-looking family with a tragic story. The story is about incest. That's next Wednesday on 7:30 magazine.
From the CBS Broadcast Center in New York, it's the Warner Wolf Show. The Warner Wolf Show is sponsored tonight by Saison and by Lowenbrau. When it's time for the taste of a truly great beer, let it be Lowenbrau. Now, here's Warner.
Thank you. Hey, get a shot of that. Wait a minute. Get a shot of this sign. Look at this guy got a sign. Look at this. Can you get a shot of that sign? Hey, come on. Shoot. Can you get that sign there? Give us a break. Hey, come on. All right. Hey, if you took Reagan in the points, you won. If you had Carter and 7 million, you lost. An ex-sportscaster is the president, will become the president of the United States. Huh? How about that? Wait a minute. Maybe he can give some special aid to the Giants and Jets. All right, who knows what happened 5.5 months ago? Huh? May 24th, 1980. That's right. Let's go to the videotape. This is it. 6 games, Stanley Cup playoffs, overtime. Bobby Nystrom, that's it. The Islanders win the Stanley Cup. Tonight, my special guest from the Islanders, the only man in the history of the National Hockey League to score over 50 goals each year, his first 3 years, number 22, Mike Bossy. The Islanders' all-time leading scorer, number 19, Bryan Trottier. This man is not only the policeman of the team, peacemaker, never looks for a fight, excellent scorer, was also a baseball player in the minor leagues. Number 9, Clark Gillies. And the man behind the mask played in 20 of the 21 Stanley Cup playoff games last year, number 31, Billy Smith. Hey, Billy. We'll be back in just a moment.
Winter isn't a season, it's a warning, telling you it's time to move down from the cold, down to a valley the wind can't reach, down toward home in a place called Miller Time. Time for the best tasting beer you can find, America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear, Miller beer. Tastes too good to hurry through. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer.
Acme brings you the good buys on meat. This week, Acme puts fresh pork on the block and chops the prices up to 40 cents a pound. Big savings on the popular cuts of pork, like tender center-cut chops. Good time to serve me your family's favorite way. And just think, on a succulent 5-pound center-cut pork roast, you can save a good $2. Yes, Acme chops the prices on fresh pork up to 40 cents a pound.
Sasson blouses, skirts, moccasins, vests, western jeans. Play cool. Scarves, belts, jumpsuits, blazers. She smiled at me. Sasson jackets, hand-painted tops, dresses, boots, luggage.
All right, Billy Smith, you have said publicly, hey, look, the crease is my territory. You come in here, watch out.
Well, the reason I say that is to try to get, you know, a lot of people thinking, because the crease, you know, is what I always said, my domain. But you play teams like Philadelphia, Montreal, Buffalo, they come in and they try to intimidate you, you know, or kick the feet out from under you. So I do whatever I have to.
All right, speaking of doing whatever you have to do, it just so happens, let's go to the videotape. Now, this is a game against the Kings. Steve Jensen is in front. What are you doing there, Billy?
Well, you know, I just wanted to get to know him, you know, he kept backing in.
Now, watch this. Hey, what is it? I mean, that was uncalled for, wasn't it? I mean, he shouldn't have done that.
Well, you know, he went by me, he must have fell in love with me. He came back and gave me a big hug, you know. I thought he was in love when he gave me that headlock.
All right, against Philadelphia, probably maybe the most physical team in the National Hockey League, another friend of yours, Paul Holmgren, number 17. This is a game last week. Let's go to the videotape, and I've got to ask you about this right here. Billy Smith against Paul Holmgren. You remember this, Billy?
Yes, I remember this. We had several incidents before this where he'd come into the crease, so...
See that stick?
Yeah, it must have been a slip, Warner. You know, those things happen in the National Hockey League, you know. But if you'll watch a little bit longer, he tried to give me a shave with his skate, too, so, you know, the old saying, tit for tat, I guess.
or something like that. You feel bad right there about...
hitting him?
He's got about 4 or 5 stitches in his face.
Well, you know, like it's the old saying, Warner, the guy keeps constantly coming in. I can't say anything about the refereeing because I already got a $1,000 fine coming, but as I voiced my opinion that night. But it's the type of thing that, you know, he may not come in a game. And yet, knowing him, he probably will, but I know 3/4 of his teammates will never come in. So it's just the type of thing where I do it to try to win hockey games.
Clark Gillies, you really are a peacemaker. You don't look for fights, but if there's going to be one, hey, you're going to take care of this club. That's what it appears to be. And I think the greatest example of that was in the quarterfinals against the Bruins last year, when it was like, you remember that? Huh? It was like they were, I haven't given you a chance to speak yet. It was like they were testing. It was like they were testing you out. They wanted to see if it was going to be the same as the previous years when they could push the Islanders around in the playoffs.
Well, we had always had some tough times in Boston, and every time we play there, they seemed to play a very physical game against us, and we knew going into the series that if we didn't stand up to them, we were going to get beat, because they do take the body a lot, and if you let them do what they want to do, you know, they can beat you. But we had talked about, not only myself, Bobby Nystrom, Gary Howitt, Gordy Lane, you know, all the guys that are, you know, have that little quality that can go out there and do that type of thing. We just said that they weren't going to push us around, and then that's exactly what happened. We stood up, and I think we beat them.
All right, let's go to the videotape. One of the first men to challenge you was Terry O'Reilly. Look at this. Oh. That really was the end of it. I mean, hey, that was it.
Well, it's, you know, if you give them an inch, they're going to take a yard, and we just kind of put a stop to it early, and I think you noticed the last, people noticed the last 2 or 3 games that there was a lot of good hockey, other than the, the fighting and the brawling.
What about this baseball career? That's a little unusual from a man from born in Canada, isn't it? You were in the Astros chain, third baseman, catcher.
That was kind of a one-shot deal that I had when I was 16 years old. I was had a one-day tryout with a couple of scouts from Houston, and it turned out good for me. I signed a small little contract, and I played 3 summers of rookie league ball in Covington, Virginia. But with only three months a year playing baseball and 9 months playing hockey, it really wasn't much of a decision. So I saw my future being in hockey. There wasn't. I had a good time, and it was, it was good to try it. But there was really no doubt that I wanted to play hockey.
Mike Bossy, it certainly is early, but no one has ever scored 50 goals their first 3 years. That's just an incredible feat. When you were coming up with, I know you're a modest fellow, but did you even think that you would be able to score over 50 goals your first 3 years in the National Hockey League?
Well, before I came into the league, I always had dreams of doing big things once I got to the National Hockey League, but I'd never thought that things would happen so fast. I was even thinking of going to the minor leagues for 1 year when I did come up with the Islanders. Then I guess everyone knows the story. I got onto a line with Bryan and Clark, and things just started going right from the start.
Now, you have said publicly you will have no parts of fighting, that in your opinion fighting is not part of the game.
It's quite a contrast from my other two. I really haven't. I haven't said that it isn't part of hockey. I know that there is fighting now, and there always will be fighting. But I just said that personally, I won't fight, and that's a decision that I've made, and that I'll stick to unless unless something happens where I have to.
Bryan, one thing interests me. You wear a hat. Mike wears a hat. Clark does a helmet, rather. What about it? What about wearing a helmet? Can you picture playing without a helmet?
Well, I've had myself a few incidents where I've known that the helmet has saved me. Crashing into the boards, or crashing down on the ice, or getting a stick in the head where, had I not had the helmet on, it would have been a severe injury. So I'm thankful I had it on. Mind you, I'm a little shorter than Clarkie, and I'm about stick high and elbow high, and I get a lot more of it than Clarkie would.
All right, this is your 6th year. You're the Islanders' all-time leading scorer. If you had to pick one goalie, excluding your own teammates, the last guy you wanted to have to go in and take a shot against, who would it be in the National Hockey League of the goalies you faced in the 6 years?
The 6 years, Tony Esposito.
Tony Esposito.
Yeah.
That's what Phil said. His brother, Phil. Oh, I want to show something, Billy. Let's go to the videotape. You wear a mask. It's a birdcage mask. Let's go to the videotape. Show the fans what it is, first of all. Guys catching, clapping for the birdcage. There it is. But this is, most of the guys wear the other cage. What's your feeling on this?
Well, the reason I stopped wearing the other one is because with the fiberglass cage, it sits right on your face. And, like, there's no give, no nothing. It's just fiberglass flat on your face. So if somebody does shoot the puck, you get the full impact right on your head. With the cage, I find it's something like playing hockey without anything. Like, when I wore the fiberglass, I got hit at least 6-7 times a year. Since I put on the wire cage, I haven't been hit yet. So it's just different. It's more airy, and it doesn't feel like you have anything on, so you're more apt to protect yourself. And I just find it's a lot more convenient. It's easier.
You know, I've made a proposal, which I'm sure the National Hockey League won't accept, but I've said, if you really wanted to eliminate fighting, if the owners and the guys who run hockey wanted to eliminate it, if you drop your gloves, you're out of the game, because you really can't fight with gloves on. What would be your reaction to that? In other words, you drop your gloves, you're out. I mean, that's the first thing you do, right? When somebody challenges you, everybody drops their gloves.
You obviously have to drop one so you can grab a hold of the guy, but I'll tell you, the gloves they make now, there's a lot of nylon on those, and when you hit a guy with one of those, they're pretty hard, especially if you hit him with your thumb, or you could cut a guy up pretty bad, so you could fight with your glove on.
Clarkie's never done that. He's never hit anybody with his glove on. He's just imagining that it...
That's right.
It's got to be a lot better than getting your knuckles all scraped up, you know. But you know, everybody wears a helmet now. So when you fight, you end up pounding the hell out of his helmet. Like Bobby Nystrom, the fight he had with Jim Schoenfeld the other night, must have hit him in the helmet about 5 times, and he was the next day he found out that Schoenfeld's helmet had died.
Mike, were you disappointed that the Canadians didn't pick you? They passed over you, and that you were, you know, closely. In fact, you lived in Montreal for a while. Do you have a special incentive against the Canadians?
No, I don't really, Warner. It seems maybe that I do, because I do come up, you know, fortunate enough to get a good number of goals against the Canadians since I started my career.
Such as the hat trick a week ago in the 3rd period.
That's true.
And it just so happens, let's go to the videotape. This is it. That made it 4-2. This is all in the 3rd period against Heron. That made it 5-2.
And this was the hardest one he had to make.
This was the hardest one, right. The open net from Bryan, right in front.
Trotz and I are still trying to decide whether that puck was going in or not.
I'll tell you what, gentlemen, we're going to give the folks here in the audience a chance to ask you some questions, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Trust me, a cream puff like this I would sell to my own mother.
What mechanic? You got my personal guarantee.
Buying a used car takes a lot of faith in your fellow man, but not when you buy it from Avis.
Okay, here's the car service record. Avis cars are so well taken care of, we give you our free 12-month, 12,000-mile limited warranty on the engine and drivetrain. And that's good coast to coast. But don't take our word. Take our warranty.
Call Avis for the location nearest you.
Today's target, Higley's Market. Objective, Mrs. Paul's smorgasbord sale. Last year, the low smorgasbord prices made their seafood disappear fast.
I missed the fried clams completely.
This year, we move faster. Ethel, you grab the fish fillets. Gertrude, the fish sticks. Okay? Move out. And Agnes, don't get lost in the dessert aisle.
Mrs. Paul's smorgasbord prices make our seafood move fast, so you'd better do the same.
Now comes Miller time. The flag is dropped, the race is a memory. And now you're coasting into the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
If you got the time, if you got the time, we've got the beer, if you got the time.
I don't know, you're going to ask me.
All right, here's a young lady in the audience. You have a question for us?
Yes, I'd like to direct my question to all the players. Do you enjoy playing hockey very much?
Do you enjoy playing hockey? Let's hope so. Would you rather be doing something else? Well, that's a good question. No, seriously. Suppose you weren't playing hockey, Mike. What would you be doing right now, you think?
Well, I never really supposed that I wouldn't be playing hockey, but you know, no matter how long you play hockey, you have to enjoy it. I mean, we go through a lot through the season and all the traveling and that. We are paid rather well, but
pretty fair. Yes, sir.
If they put a new team in the Meadowlands, how do you think that would affect the ticket situation for New York?
We're talking about a 3rd team in the National Hockey League. I don't think that would affect. I think you still have Islander fans going to show up for Islander games, right? Don't you think? Better hope so. Hey, what is this here? What is this? Hey. Okay. How much you pay for that?
$17.
It ain't worth it, I'll tell you. Yes, sir.
I'd like to direct my question to Clark Gillies.
You know this lady with the hat on?
That's my wife.
Oh, okay.
I would like to know, you know, you've got the Stanley Cup and you're the pride of the National Hockey League, but how does it feel to come in second place in New York?
What do you mean, sir? Now, wait a minute.
Who's the other
These
team?
guys are the Stanley Cup champions.
The ink, all the ink in the daily newspapers go to the New York Rangers. I mean, if they play bad, they get a lot of ink in the paper. When they play bad, if they play good, they get a lot of ink. And it seems like the Islanders are more or less pushed off to the side, like during the New York series a few years back.
Oh, you guys resent that? Huh? Well, I guess obviously there's a rivalry, right? I mean, the Rangers and Islanders. What about the? You think the Rangers get too much press, and you guys don't get enough, considering you guys are the Stanley Cup champions? Billy, you got any feelings on that?
Well, you know, they do get a lot more press and everything else, but they've been here a lot longer. You know, it's the old saying, there's a lot of people in New York have been Ranger fans all their life. So we get a few that have come over to be Islander fans, and we got quite a few that are borderline, that are, who's ever winning the game, that's the way they go. You know, so...
I know a lot of friends like that. Go ahead.
Okay, this is for all Florida players.
One at a time.
All right. Okay, in the New York papers lately, Dick Hauser, what's his name, Ray Perkins, and Walt Michaels have been under a lot of fire, and people want them fired.